Okay, ladies. So, I mentioned before about, everything starts as in an ugly duckling phase. And, you know, this is definitely ugly duckling phase, but this is how this process is gonna end up. So where we're up to now in terms of like the underbody and overlaying, the next part that we're going to begin to look at is this dress part at the top, where we give her sleeves and we give her a bodice at the top. And that's why I've said don't worry too much about how much you felt with this. What's important at this stage is that you feel like your arms are in place, so you can do like what I've just done there and lift them up and have a look. Do they feel secure enough? And if they don't, I mean, again, we're going to be adding more to it, but you can just very gently felt underneath there. So what we're doing, we're just securing there in place around the arms. Okay, but I'm happy with that. I'm happy her arms are where I want them to be, and I've got a degree of stuffing to work with there around the shaping. So if you have a kit from me, the kits, what I wanted to do with the Spring Awakening was, this was inspired by the spring flowers that I can see coming up here in Cumbria in the Lake District where I live. So I deliberately, I picked these, these are like the lovely daffodils and some of the lovely bluebells, and yeah, so I think, but again, you can choose however you want that to be. But some of the colours are particularly light. It was like this a gorgeous blue, again, for like the little bluebells, the little crocuses that are coming up in all different colours. I love this colour. So what's important about the dress bit is that we do use wool bats, because it's a lot easier to manipulate. And this is the green, it's a mix of green and blue that we've got here. But I think for the purposes today, I think I'm going to use this gorgeous like marine colour. I think it's lovely blue colour. I'm not sure how it's showing on film. It's a little bit more turquoise. So we know with wool bats, they can come in a long strip like this one, or they can come in pieces like this. So we need a piece. If you look at the dress, again, if you've got the kit, you'll have the exact size. If you look at underneath the dress, I've kept some of that lower down, so you already have some of the white there on this one. So it's up to you how you do that. I'd leave it. I just just very gently hold and pull. So you've got some wispy bits there already, but I'm going to leave that because I quite like that on this one. So we're aiming to have the underdress that comes down, that then we can overlay with the other colour, because it looks quite nice poking through there. I think it, like a flower would have lots of different colours there. So we need that to be long enough to overlay over her head and to come down over the skirt. So that's what we're going to be doing next. Okay, ladies, so I have my wool bats here, my carded wool, and again, I'm just going to measure. I'm more than happy with that. So what I like to do with the wool bats, you can ease it, just ease it out a little. Now be careful, because it is quite fragile, and you could tear it. Don't worry if there's like little gaps here, we can do something about that later. Okay, so I'm gonna put that, fold it over in half, and just in the middle, just gently pull till I get a little bit of a hole. Okay, and then I'm going to pop her head through that hole. And just layer down on that. So you'll already see that some fibres are a little bit longer than the other, but honestly, at this stage, it doesn't matter. Okay, so she's looking like she's in an oversized poncho at the minute, which is fine. So what I want to do at this stage, just to make it a bit easier for you, is if you see where the arm and the hand is, so just a little bit above where the wrist. So if we see this as the hand, sometimes if you bend them, it makes it easier. Bend the hand up a little bit, and we're just showing a little bit of wrist there. So you can see there quite easily with the wool, I can just tuck it a little bit. So all I want you to do is do that and just very gently poke it into place. Just poke it into place. Okay. And then with the shape of the arm, we can see here, this is the shoulder that goes into the neck. So again, let's just poke that shape. Yeah. Just poking in, poking in. Okay. And just leave it at that side. So we're going to do the other side the same. Okay. I always find working on this side a bit harder, but so again, you can just pop the hand up like this. We're going to tuck a little bit in, and we're just going to gently secure that. You can tuck your fibres up again, just gently. Now don't worry if you're looking at it and you're thinking, I think I've got a bit more arm showing there than there, because we can wrap the wool round. At this stage, we just literally be shaping what is going to be like the top of a dress. So you can move around, you can turn around the other way and have a look how that's faring. We'll give her a little poke there to bring it in. We'll give her a little poke there. Okay. And then we'll turn her over. Now here, you see where the where I put the hole for the head, you'll naturally get it thinning, the wool thinning. You'll be able to see a bit of the white coming through. Excuse me, you can make a feature of that, or you can overlay it. It's entirely up to you. So at this stage, we are now just poking this wool. We're just poking this wool. You'll see here you've got lots of excess on the side. So we're just literally, we're wanting to bring that in. We're just poking that. Just poking the wool. You can begin to do that over a body. Now where you've got a little bit of thickness here, you may have a little bit of thickness here on the side. You can gently hold on and just pull some of that away and put that to one side, because we can use that in a minute. But literally what we're trying to do here now is just get a shape. Okay, so we secure that on that side. I'm going to just, because I've got a bit of excess here on mine, I'm just going to pull a little bit of that away and secure that. Okay, now the easiest way now to do this and to get some shape is to just tie some wool around the middle. Now I find the merino wool a little bit stronger. Don't worry about it being a different colour. So I'm just going to take a piece of that. Okay, and where that bust line, do you remember we have like, we had a little bit here of extra wool. I'm just going to put this around. Now rather than tying, I'm just going to use my needle to secure it in. Because what you might find is if you try and tie, it may snap. So I'm just literally securing that. If you turn it over, see here. Now, if you get your fingers on either side of that, just to bring it in a little bit more, and then just use your needle. Just use your needle going up at the side. On the other side, turn her over. And literally this is what we're doing. We're shaping a bodice. So you'll have the bits like I have here, just cross them and secure them. And you'll see that she's getting a bit more definition now. You'll definitely be able to see maybe her chest is looking a little lighter than other parts, but we can use some of the excess wool there. So what I want you to do now is just use your eye, use this process that we have for felting, just poking the wool. And what you're trying to do here is just create a nice shape underneath and bring the wool together. Yeah. Again, watch your fingers, ladies. It's fine to lift her up from the mat and do this, just gently poke. I find you can get a good shape by doing that under the arm. And I'll do the same. Just lift her arm gently there. And again, we're bringing this wool together. Okay, now what we want with this dress at the top, we do want this to be quite firm, because this is the sculpting part now. You might want to bring a waist in a little bit, and you're poking on here. So I'm just going to show you how, if these start to all bunch up here, then you can just gently ease them down, hold them, and just poke. Okay. So again, like with the girl on the swing, what we're doing, we're creating this shape from the neck down to the arm. That's what we're creating, and this here. Okay. And you will get that shape by just poking the wool using the pipe cleaners and the arms as your guide. Okay, so I just want to show you this bit, and then you can carry on poking. What you don't want is loads of bunching, and again, the way you get rid of that is just by felting it. You're felting it closer to her body. Just got a little couple of stray hairs there. Okay, so this extra that I had, I'm gonna just pull it lightly. This is like mixing the wool, just again lightly, just makes it a bit thicker for me. Got a bit of yellow in there. The joys of having lots of wool in your craft space. Okay, so it's really easy with this now we can curl it over, we can put it on this space that started to look a bit thin. Again, just gently put it in place, very gently, and needle felt it. And then I would do one on the other side, because mine's a bit thin on that side. So again, I've got a bit of extra wool there. And a little hair. Okay. And again, just put that over. And then literally we're just poking that. You can see the holes, but these are going to disappear. Don't worry about that. Just to reduce the visibility, you can hold your needle do this, but honestly, don't worry at this stage. We're going to be embellishing and all sorts with this. I just want you to enjoy this part. I think it's really lovely. You can turn around. She's got some bits there from what I've just added. Just add it into the sleeves and just keep poking. Now, if you do that and you're happy with that, and generally I would say, you know, you've got a shape that resembles the top of a dress, that when you move her arms, because her arms actually are going to be that way, they're going to be there. I'll bring it here. I'll sit her on the end, so they're going to be like this. So what I like to do is go, well, okay, if she was sat like that, well, actually, I'd want that sleeve down a bit more. So I'll pull that sleeve gently. The other one, it's gone up a little bit. Okay. And this is what I would do. I would sit her and I would do this. So if when she's sat like that, you think, you know, actually, I like the shape of it. I like, you know, it's looking more like a dress, then you're pretty much ready then with the top bit. Don't do too much with this bottom. You can pinch little bits of wool off the bottom. That's not a problem at all. But just try and not do too much with that, because I'll show you what we're doing with that later. If you want to define a waist a little bit more, again, just pinch it in with the needle. You can do that. But if you prefer a chunkier angel, then you can do that too. So you keep moving her around. You know, she shouldn't be too fluffy. I've got lots of tiny white little white hairs, which are a bit like what we have as we get older. They have the same in sheep, like the little silvery bits. But carry on now with that, with your shape. Again, until you get the you know, like the nice on this angel that's done. You can see the difference. This wool started like this, but it's got a much nicer finish on that. Okay, so carry on doing that, and then I'll be with you for the next stage. So as you continue to fell and to create this dress top, I just want to say a couple of things about the actual sculpting, maybe things that you might notice. So when you do your arms and the dress on the arms, you might want a longer sleeve. I've tried to do this as an example for you. So all you would need to do, if your sleeve is up here, and actually if you pull your wool down, you will still see the arm underneath. Just get little bits of your wool. Now, do you remember when you did the arm and you wound the wool around the arm? Just wind it round. Now, what's important about this stage is that you are just using, you see how kind of see-through that is? So you're not putting a big chunk on like that, because that's going to take a lot of felting to do. You're much better off doing a little bit at a time, yeah? And to reduce the appearance of the holes, you just do your needle sideways. Now remember, there's a wire in there, so very gentle, just very gentle poking. This part of the angel is something just for you to take your time with, you know, just gentle poking, and do it all around. It's fine at this stage. I find, like, you know, when I'm doing the side of her, to hold her and just gentle poke, yeah. And this really is the sculpting part, you know. It's like, so I want to make more of a definition, just more of a definition of that neckline, Yeah, you might want to make more of a definition around a bust or bring a waist in a bit. So, you know, feel the wool, manipulate the wool. It's fine to do that. You're not going to break her. You can do that. You can lift the arms, you can move the arms round. Yeah. So do you remember when I said earlier that actually this is the position that we have? So it's fine, put her on the side, have a look. You know, does that look like a shoulder? Could I make more of around here? Or just poke, just poke. You can't do anything wrong. If you end up with a shape and you think it's looking a bit scrawny, that, you know, like I think here I can see a little bit of the white showing through. Just take a piece off, just lay it over and just poke. And what you're looking for at this sculpting stage is a firmness, yeah? You're looking at a firm, because what we're actually going to be doing with this, as you can see on the one I made earlier, see these little flowers? We're going to be putting those on. So when we add anything to a piece that we felted, it's important that there's a firmness there, because you've got something adhere to then. So you just carry on. Now I can spend hours and hours doing this. I don't want you to spend too long, and I don't want you to be judgy either. You know, I've got some holes there. It's all right, I can live with that. You know, the heat from your hand can help with that, so you can give her a little rub. Just be careful of her head, because those fibres, with them being merino, are quite loose. You can give her a rub. And also what you can do is what I've just shown you earlier. Take a small piece of wool and overlay it and just poke it in. See, I'm doing that sideways rather than that, just very gently. Poke it in, hardly touching it. You get that lovely finish on there. Okay, so you do that now until you're happy with that, and then I'm going to show you. I'm actually going to put a little bit of a collar on here, I've decided. So you carry on, just carry on felting, adding. Maybe you want a sleeves to be a bit more chunky. You just keep doing that. Okay. Okay, ladies, I think I'm happy where I'm at with her. Probably could do a little bit more needle felting, but I think you have to learn when to stop as well. So you can just do a test again, set her on your mat and just try, you know, have a look. I'm happy with that. Okay, so I opted with her, I did like a little bit of a V, because I want to put a bit of a collar on here. Now, if you've done that too, excuse me, but decide maybe actually I'd like it going all the way to the top, or maybe like me, you'd like a bit of a collar to go on here, bit of collar detail. So I start with a piece of the fibre, and I just lay it out. And I just poke it, just poke the wool first, get some of the fibres together, and then just fold it over like a bit of a sausage. So I did measure this before, so before you poke the wool, if you just start with a piece, I'm happy with that, because it'll come round there and it will come round to there, and I can maybe just give it a little bit of detail here. Okay, so literally with this now, I will generally start with the back, and I will just lay it over the back of the neck and on the dress. Just watch her head. And just poke it into place. Now all I'm doing at this stage, I'm just going to poke it into place. Okay, turn her over. I'm going to Just twist that wool just a little bit. Take it to there. Again, just poke it into place. I just want to make sure that it kind of fits and I've got a bit of a shape. I'm just going to twist it again a little bit at the top there. So again, just poke it into place. Try and keep the coloured fibres away from the face area. Okay, so we're just poking that into place. So you can see here, I've got a couple of little tails there. Now, again, this is entirely up to you how you do this. You can take it to the centre line, so like the centre of the bust line. You can fold that back if you want to make a bit of a thicker collar. What I actually like to do is allow it to come down a bit. So, you know, like a collar on a jacket, bring it down. So I'm just going to tack that into place because that's how I'm going to have this. Same with the other one. Bring it down and put it into place. Just tack it, yeah? Now what's great about this craft is that, so you can see, like, you know, do I like that? Well, actually I do, because I think it's got the look of maybe a bit of a coat. It's very bulky. We still need to needle fell. But if I want to move these around, I can still do that. And if you felt these in place, so where I've got this curve coming round, if I just go sideways there a bit, I'm going to get a bit of a shape there. Now, what's good about this is if you are an embroiderer, you can embroider like little buttons, or equally, you can just make maybe out of a different colour. So say I wanted to do some buttons out of this pinky colour. So I would literally put that on my mat. Again, ladies, if you've not already poked your fingers, you know, just be careful. I just poke that. And I'll show you later, this is how I actually make flowers. It makes it so easy. Be careful because these can stick really easy to the mat. Just turn it over. And then I get my needle and just very carefully in the middle, I just like move it around. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking the fibre, bringing into the middle. You can see already it's becoming a circle. Let's bring it into the middle. We want a bit of fluffiness here at the end, because if you imagine if we put this on here, we want those fibres to attach. So we start off with a bit of loose on there. And literally all you would do, you would keep stabbing that until you get it the size that you want. So if you wanted something of that size and maybe to put here, so you're putting that here as a bit of contrast, you can do that. Now, when I do flowers or buttons, I love them fluffy. You might not, you might want them really neat, but I actually like them. And you'd literally just poke it in so you get it to the size and shape that you want on her. So, but back to the collar. So you decide how you wanna do that, and you just literally you poke that in, do a little bit more on a neck. I quite like the fact that there's a distinction there, so I tend not to felt that too much. Just make sure the fibres are in place, really. But I think that gives a lovely distinction on the back, and already it looks a bit like a jacket. Now, if you remember with the Earth Angel, we're going to put some flowers down the back and we're going to make her some wings. So again, don't worry too much about the back and detail because it's covered up. So I'm happy with that. I'll do a little bit more work on the front of her. Again, we're looking for that firmness. You should already be able to feel that now, and if you can't, if it doesn't feel quite firm, you just need to felt a bit more. If you're getting a bit raggedy down here, you can just with your fingers just do that. I'll probably have that so it's the same length. So I'll just very gently pull that, but I'm happy with that. I give a pinch her in a little bit more there. Okay. So just carry on until you're happy with whatever extra you've given. And then I'm going to show you how to do a hair. We're going to do hair. We've got hair to do. We've got, if you want to do any more embellishments or flowers and things, I'll show you how to do them. That's what I did on this one. So she's got some little flowers and she's holding some flowers here. On this one that I did, which I all granted is a different shape, I decided I had a little bit of it's vintage lace actually that I got from a charity shop. You know, sometimes they're great, they have them in bundles, so I decided to do that, and you can see that very well here, a little bit of ribbon. And with the girl on the swing, you can see here I did a French knot. So this is embroidery. So if you can do embroidery, and there's some more here, then, you know, in terms of mine, I could embroider buttons going up. If you had a high neckline here, you could embroider around it, all around it. You can embroider around the sleeves, which I think I actually did on one. I haven't got one on here at the minute to show you, but you can do like a slip stitch around the edge of here, or equally, if you just like it just like this and your embellishment is going to be colour, adding colour on, that's fine too. You just do that however you want to do it. So I'd say now I'm probably going to spend another 10 minutes just gently stabbing and shaping the front here, so I have got this little bit of a jacket emerging. So I will be back with you next, and we're doing the very exciting hair because I love doing hair. Okay.